Welcome back, everybody. I am Jeff Barton, your host for the Las Vegas Real Estate Show every Sunday night at 4 p.m. Channel 47.4. Thank you very much for tuning in. We're very excited, obviously, about being on our new channel. We're getting a lot of great response, and it brings it to a wider audience of those broadcast people. And also, we're also on cable. So if you're out there and you're watching us tonight, thank you very much for tuning in. We are a local show. We try to bring local people, local ideas about real estate, your decisions to buy and sell real estate here in Las Vegas or the surrounding valley. It's a terrific January, and for those of you who are here and enjoying the weather for what it is, it can change in a heartbeat. And as everyone knows, weather-related incidences both here in the valley and across the country affect real estate. So how is that kind of problem or situation going to affect you? We have great guests on today's show. We're going to talk about several things. One of the things that we brought one of our first guests onto the show is Dante Scott. He's a wholesaler, a flipper, somebody who takes advantages of properties that may need some fixing up, maybe buy and hold. I know he's working on some Airbnb stuff. So we're very excited to have him on as a first-time guest on the show. He has a unique and interesting story, which I think you're going to be enjoying to hear. Also from the Swedish Council here in Las Vegas is Lena Walter, who has talked to us about human trafficking here in Las Vegas and across the country, what we can do about it. She's been on the show before. I wanted to have her back to talk a little bit more about what this is, what it means to us locally, how to recognize it. She has a terrific group called Awareness is Prevention, and this particular group is a nonprofit which helps in both, obviously, the awareness of the problem and what we might be able to do about it. It's an awful, awful thing that occurs. I, in past shows, have talked about a documentary movie called The Florida Project, which talks about what goes on in Florida in these SRO hotels that get filled up with homeless people sponsored by the state, either through Section 8 housing or in some other capacity, that really takes the place of an actual home for someone. But the reality of homelessness is really about houselessness, and it's really about lack of work and education. And so I wanted to talk to both our guests about that, about how we can try to improve the situation therein and thereabout. I'm Jeff Barton. I'm your host for the Las Vegas Real Estate Show, and we try to bring this to you each and every week, and we're happy that you're here once again tuning in to watch, and we'll be right back.
Are you experiencing hair loss? We have the solution with no drugs, no surgery, and no side effects. Experience 100% pain-free results with Super Grow Laser Cap System, featuring 272 professional-grade lasers that make your hair thicker and fuller naturally. Use it 15 minutes a day, 3 times a week, and notice your hair growth in as little as 3 months. Visit online at irevivelaser.com to order your Super Grow Laser Cap today and experience unbelievable results. irevivelaser.com.
Successful Strategies International offers state-of-the-art PMP certification in an entire curriculum of project management, risk management, portfolio and program management by using unique learning techniques such as online learning, simulations, and facilitator lead programs. Our clientele consists of some of the biggest Fortune 500 companies in existence. SSI has trainers all across North America, Europe, and Asia to help meet your project management needs. Learn more at ssi-learn.com. That's ssi-learn.com.
Ruthless Cowboys, keeping the American dream alive and creating jobs one t-shirt at a time. From fabric to design, Ruthless Cowboys makes 100% American-made apparel that hardworking Americans are proud to wear. At RuthlessCowboys.com, you can shop for shirts and accessories for the cowboy or cowgirl in your life. Head to RuthlessCowboys.com, check us out on Facebook and Instagram by searching Ruthless Cowboys. Ruthless Cowboys, we're all about family, country, and keeping it all American. RuthlessCowboys.com.
Want to know how to create more business and save money? Simple. The answer is video. Video shares are the fastest growing form of word-of-mouth advertising, and according to InternetRetailer.com, visitors who viewed a business video were 85% more likely to buy after watching it. People today are on the go. They don't have time to read text, but they have 1 minute to watch video. At HD Video King, we not only create quality video that's right for you, we coach you on how to get the most from it. Call today. Our award-winning staff are ready to assist.
Welcome back, everybody. I'm Jeff Barton, and I'm your host for the Las Vegas Real Estate Show. Thanks for tuning in, and thanks for making us part of your night on Sunday night at 4 p.m. We're on channel 47.4 Retro TV. New station for us. Really excited to have you all listening and watching to the show. We bring to the show each and every week some interesting guests that try to give a perspective to real estate here in the Valley and what you might be able to do with your buying and selling issues, problems, whatever you can think of, or maybe get some inspiration from somebody who is doing it or has done it and is reaching out to try to help you as well in that capacity. And I wanted to introduce for the first time Dante Scott. Dante, how are you?
I'm doing well, buddy.
Great.
Yourself?
Nice to see you. Yeah, thank you very much for coming on the show. He owns a company called From Sell to Sale and has a unique story and a unique perspective. First of all, how are you?
I'm doing well. Yeah, it's Monday, so we're ready to go.
Okay, very good. What does your company do?
So we're real estate. I have a real estate investment company, and so we go from wholesaling properties to flip and flip, fix and flip to buy and hold properties. Anything that fits into like the quadrants of real estate, the total embodiment of real estate. Yeah, that's where we're at.
Okay, you talk about the quadrant. Explain that a little bit to our viewing.
So the quadrants, I think you could break up real estate acquisition into 4 quadrants, and I think that goes from like wholesaling to fix and flip to creative financing, right? Whether it's subject to property, lease options, seller carrybacks, and then buy and hold, right? And then, so I think that's like our 4 main quadrants, and everything else is like under the umbrella of those. So I like, instead of just putting myself in one quadrant and say, hey, I'm a flipper, or hey, I'm a wholesaler, like, no, hey, I just practice real estate, and whatever the situation is, just trying to find a solution that fits it.
And you do this for yourself, for a group of investors, for?
No, for myself. So I do have a business partner, and so it's a business partner and I. So when I'm always saying we and speaking in plural tense, that's what I'm talking about.
Okay, very good. So, and you got into this recently, or have you been doing it for a while, or?
I've been investing in real estate since 2015. Yeah,
okay.
So recently, I'm fairly new still to the game, yeah.
Okay, very good. Your background, interesting background. Tell a little bit about where you've been, what you've been, and how you got here.
Okay, absolutely. So, started investing in real estate 2015, was released from prison 2014, entered prison 2004.
Okay.
So did 10 years in prison, was found guilty under the gang enhancement. So that's kind of like my background prior to getting into real estate investing.
And that was here in
Las Vegas.
Nevada? In Las Vegas?
Yeah, in Nevada. Well, you don't have any actual prisons in Las Vegas, so they're mostly in Indian Springs and up north, north of Las Vegas, Nevada, but in Nevada.
Okay, so you're one of the people that has successfully made it out and now into a profession, which is obviously a great profession. I've been in it for many, many years.
Absolutely.
A lot of people here in Vegas or in the Las Vegas Valley make a lot of money buying and flipping or buying and holding. What's your short-term, long-term strategy in doing all that?
It's changed in recent times because, like my mentors, of course, it makes sense. Everyone talks about cash flow, right? But as a young investor, it's kind of hard to convince us, that we should be investing for the future. So my strategy in the beginning and my strategy now is totally different.
Okay.
In the beginning, I just, I wanted capital gains. So I wanted to be able to flip properties, be able to make that money, and then do what I please with the money then. Now I'm looking into more of long-term buy and hold properties. So at this point, trying to create more cash flow than I currently have.
So buying properties, renting them out, or using them to this Airbnb thing that you were talking about a little bit earlier. Explain about how that's working.
And that's a form of like buy and hold, right?
Right, exactly right.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's become more popular, nowadays. But in that situation, that actually entered a few quadrants because I'd like to say I traditionally don't buy properties the traditional way. Like I don't go to a bank and get a loan. So a lot of my financing is creative financing or through hard money or private money. Yep. But in this specific situation, it was we did a subject to on this deal. Mm-hmm. Basically got the property at a real good discount, did a subject to, kept the loan in place in the original owner. Yep. And then, we're Airbnb-ing the property at this point.
Was that through an all-inclusive trust deed, or did you use a land contract?
I did a land contract,
right,
absolutely.
Exactly.
Yeah, I did a land contract. And so, we're rocking away. It was a little bit of fix-up, maybe about $15,000 in fix-up. Right. But, it makes sense as far as just the RI, the numbers make sense.
Okay.
And, so that's something that we're doing there. And then currently just still, wholesaling properties and fixing them, and flipping them. We in escrow on another property, and actually a mobile home that we converted to real property.
Oh, I see. Okay, how did you do that?
So that's a creative thing. So what people have to understand is that real estate, right, is land and anything permanently attached to it.
Yes, that's right.
And so mobile home is personal property, right?
Yes, it
but
is.
the moment you engineer it to the land, now it becomes real property.
Did you go through the city, the state? How did you do that?
No, you don't actually need to. You go through that manufactured housing department,
Yep.
right? So you have to once you go through the Clark County assessors, get the permit and everything that you need, then get approval through the manufactured housing department to actually convert this property into the land. And then from there, it's just getting it engineered, having an engineer certify it, getting it bolted down to the ground the correct way, and then you pretty much go. And of course, there's a little bit more ticks and tacks in the middle of it.
Is it a fee simple property? Is it one
Yes, it's
mobile
fee
home?
simple.
Okay, very good.
Absolutely. So what they do is when you go through the conversion process, because if you think about it, it's a mobile home, so it's personal property, so you have a bill,
Right,
a
of
bill
course.
of title. So
Yeah.
they get rid of that, and now they draw up a deed.
They draw up a deed.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, very good. And do you have it then assessed and then you're taxed
Yeah.
based on the new assessment
Off
of
the
the
new
property
assessment of the
rather
property.
than paying a fee to the Department of Vehicles or whoever it is?
Absolutely. Yeah, definitely. And then so you get a mobile home that may have been worth 30 to 45,000 now getting comped or appraised as another, two bedroom, 2 bath in the neighborhood.
Right.
So now, 100,000, 120,000. Well, price is actually going up now, about 140,000.
What area of the city is it?
So Desert Inn Mobile
Yep.
Estate, so off of Nellis and Desert Inn, there's a lot of mobile homes in that area. And so, of course, there's a few rules that you have to pay attention to because I see a
course.
lot of individuals and I see a lot of agents also, they're listing these properties and they're not going through the correct procedure. So a lot of times, to get a property like that FHA approved, like the mobile home has to meet certain specifications.
Of course it does.
Yeah.
FHA, don't they send out an inspector and kind of look at the property and make sure that it meets the FHA specifications?
Absolutely.
It's got a kitchen, it's got, I forget what are some of the other things that you may have to retrofit or do in terms of getting an FHA loan.
Absolutely, it has to be HUD approved, of
Right.
course. So you have to have the engineer report that certifies that it is HUD approved. And then a little thing that a lot of investors and agents miss is that the property, to be able to get FHA approved, it has to be after 1976.
Right, okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah, the model does, yeah. So anything before then it can't be FHA approved.
And that's just because of the construction quality
Absolutely.
before that time. I mean, that's a long time ago.
Yeah,
Even 76 is a long time
I'm
ago.
surprised they even have it there at
Yeah,
this
it's
point.
exactly right.
Yeah.
Exactly right. Okay, so you got into this. It sounds obviously like you know what you're doing. How would someone else in your particular background, with your particular background, get into real estate? I assume that you would appreciate people who wanted to learn from you and maybe
Absolutely.
understand. How would they get in touch with you? What would they do to do that?
So to answer your first question, I think it's all about mindset and actually making that choice, to do something. And I think a lot of times, even with my business, and I've spoke about it before, is that I feel as if individuals lock themselves in this personal cell, and they will not release themselves for whatever reason. So I think it's when you take that choice to actually release yourself out of your personal cell, right? Get out of your own way.
Yeah.
That's the first step. That's the first step is mindset and education. I think a lot of times people are kind of going out of here and they're just throwing themselves to the rules and not properly educating themselves on what's going on, whether it's market trends, whether it's laws. You'll be amazed of how many people really don't pay attention to the real estate laws that's associated with this
That's
city.
right.
So I think education is everything. And then from there, it's just per action. Once you have the tools you need to make the next step, actually take the next step, And
Yeah.
I think that's what it is. You don't want to get into the habit or into the routine of just constantly educating yourself without putting action behind it.
Right.
So you see it, people get on, you'll get on YouTube, you'll read all the books in the world, but you don't take any action to back it up. And I think if you can kind of go in that order, change the mindset, of course, educate yourself and then back it up with actions, that's, definitely a formula that I've used.
When did you make that change? I mean, mentally. Obviously, you were going down a path in your life.
Correct.
You basically said, no, I'm going to go in a different path in my life.
Yeah.
How did that happen? What happened with you in making that decision,
Absolutely.
to do that?
I think for me, I'm not going to say it was a little easier, but it was what I was left with. So other than real estate, either it was going back to prison, It was going back to my old neighborhood,
Yeah.
you know, possibly death, right? Possibly hurting someone else. So my options weren't that good, you know? So, you know, door A and door B,
Yeah.
you know, my options weren't that good. So, of course, I remember a specific situation where, honestly, you know, when I got out of prison, I still went back to my old neighborhood. I still at first associated with the same group of individuals, and it put me in a situation where I almost lost my life. And I think after that situation is kind of where I had a wake-up call, like, hold up, Dante, like, you got to change, or like, you're not gonna make it. Like, statistically, you're lucky to be here anyways.
Right.
You know, past the age of, you know, 25 at the time. So at that point was where I figured out, like, okay, I need to, you know, change it up fast. So I started going to like RIA events and, you know, a lot of networking events for real estate, and then catching on to the lingo, catching on to the, you know, real estate jargon, and then also changing my environment. And I think that's imperative. Going back to your first question, I think that's probably the most imperative thing you can do in your real estate career, in any career, is putting yourself in an environment that's conducive for you to be the individual you want to be. And I think that's where a lot of times we fail. A lot of times we, you know, and when we say environment, it doesn't necessarily have to be a negative environment. It may, if you want to be an entrepreneur, no disrespect, hanging around a bunch of 9-to-5ers, it kind of isn't conducive to the individual you want to be. So I'm not saying don't give them your time, but I'm saying be cognizant of who you give your time to, you know? Be very discerning in that. And I think if you can get better at controlling your environment, I think you didn't kind of kill like, you know, 50% of that. Yeah.
Dante, thank you very much for being on the show. I really appreciate both your message and also the expertise that you're bringing to people who need information about how to get from A to B in the real estate world.
Absolutely.
Thanks very much.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I'm Jeff Barton. I'm your host for the Las Vegas Real Estate Show. We'll be right back.
Want to know how to create more business and save money? Simple. The answer is video. Video shares are the fastest growing form of word-of-mouth advertising, and according to InternetRetailer.com, visitors who viewed a business video were 85% more likely to buy after watching it. People today are on the go. They don't have time to read text, but they have 1 minute to watch video. At HD Video King, we not only create quality video that's right for you, we coach you on how to get the most from it. Call today. Our award-winning staff are ready to assist.
Successful Strategies International offers state-of-the-art PMP certification and an entire curriculum of project management, risk management, portfolio and program management by using unique learning techniques such as online learning, simulations, and facilitator lead programs. Our clientele consists of some of the biggest Fortune 500 companies in existence. SSI has trainers all across North America, Europe, and Asia to help meet your project management needs. Learn more at ssi-learn.com. That's ssi-learn.com.
Are you experiencing hair loss? We have the solution with no drugs, no surgery, and no side effects. Experience 100% pain-free results with Super Grow Laser Cap System, featuring 272 professional-grade lasers that make your hair thicker and fuller naturally. Use it 15 minutes a day, 3 times a week, and notice your hair growth in as little as 3 months. Visit online at irevivelaser.com to order your Super Grow Laser Cap today and experience unbelievable results. irevivelaser.com.
Ruthless Cowboys, keeping the American dream alive and creating jobs one t-shirt at a time. From fabric to design, Ruthless Cowboys makes 100% American-made apparel that hardworking Americans are proud to wear. At RuthlessCowboys.com, you can shop for shirts and accessories for the cowboy or cowgirl in your life. Head to RuthlessCowboys.com, check us out on Facebook and Instagram by searching Ruthless Cowboys. Ruthless Cowboys, we're all about family, country, and keeping it all American. RuthlessCowboys.com.
Welcome, everybody. I'm Jeff Barton, your host for the Las Vegas Real Estate Show, and thank you for tuning in. We're on every Sunday night at 4 o'clock on Retro TV, 47.4 Broadcast TV. One of the great things about broadcast TV is it reaches a lot of homes that don't necessarily want to pay for cable or satellite. So those of you that are watching the show, thanks very much for tuning in and thanks for watching the show. We bring topics to the show. We bring great people to the show. What we're trying to do is educate both on a local level and address a lot of issues that affect all of us here in Las Vegas and in the surrounding valley. Real estate prices, the buying and selling of real estate, it's all about location, as they say. And because we all live here and work here. What we're trying to do is isolate out those things that might affect real estate prices, but obviously where you want to live as well. And we bring to the show some great people, and today is no exception. Back with us again is Lena Walther from the Swedish Consul, both here in Las Vegas, and she runs a program, nonprofit program called Awareness is Prevention. And if you want to tell us a little bit about what that is, reiterate for me and for the audience who hasn't seen it what that is, and then we can get into some of the topics about that.
Yeah. Awareness is Prevention is a non-profit foundation I started in 2014 when I realized most non-profit organizations deal with victims, but no one is out there bringing awareness to the problem. I rather catch the problem before it becomes one and inform people. And it's not only informing the kids, it's informing the teachers, the parents, the grandparents, anyone who has anything to do with children. Because, and I say children because the average age is 12.
And you're talking about human trafficking?
I'm talking about sex trafficking, yes.
Yes.
Not labor trafficking. We have
Right.
labor trafficking also. My concern is the sex trafficking of minors.
Right, okay, very good. Problem here in Las Vegas.
Unbelievable.
Okay, give us some idea of what the scope of it might be.
Well, it's hard to say. Statistics are very difficult because statistics are based on the ones defined. Most of them they will never find.
I see.
But of course, runaway kids, foster kids, are very likely to get into this slavery. I wouldn't call it an industry. I call it
course it is.
slavery for
Yeah.
them. It used to be 1 in 5 that got caught up in it. Now it's 1 in 3. And it normally happens within the first 36 hours of running away. They get caught and they get into the slavery of sex.
Now, this is a local issue, or these people coming to Las Vegas from other places? Or is it both?
Both. It's 85% are normally local kids here, but there are people coming in. Everybody comes to Las Vegas thinking
Yep.
they're going to find their dream. And if you go down to the bus stop station on Friday, Saturday night, the pimps are lined up, picking them up, because they have no place to go, the young girls, when they come here.
Yep.
So that's what happens. Another popular place to pick up kids is the shopping malls, movie theaters, all of that, anywhere the kids are around. And normally they are there without the parents, with the friends, and it's very, very popular.
And what ages are we talking about as well? I know
We're
you said
talking,
kids, but
we're talking average is 12. The youngest they have found in Las Vegas was 10, 9 in Reno. I would say it ranges from 12 up to 15, 16, 17.
the describing of the problem is, just a small part of the battle that you face every day,
Yeah.
trying to bring awareness. What is the awareness that you bring? Where are you bringing it to? How do we combat the problem as adults and then bring that education to other people? How do we do that?
Yeah, I mean, people have to know what's going on. And most people, when I go out, I speak a lot, and the first thing I hear is, oh, I had no idea.
Right.
And sometimes I wish I could just shake them up a little bit and say, where have you been? Because now you do hear about it. And January is Human Trafficking Month. So you see a lot of documentaries, there's a lot of talk about it. And last Thursday, the governor, Brian Sandoval, introduced a new campaign that the DMV of Nevada is the only DMV in the whole US that has teamed up with Homeland Security and the governor's office to bring awareness to trafficking. So if you're sitting in a DMV waiting for whatever, you're going to see it on the screens. They have documentaries, they have the information on the hotline. They're doing a great job. And I'm going to Washington, D.C. next week I'm co-sponsoring a trafficking conference with Homeland Security and FBI. And I'm going to bring this up. And I'm seeing the Nevada senator up there. And I have a Swedish ambassador flying in from Stockholm who works with trafficking worldwide. And we have some very prominent speakers.
There's some great billboard traveling over on the 95.
That's right.
I saw it. It was terrific. The first time I'd seen it, actually.
They've been up for a few months. They're a little bit quick. You barely have time to see.
True.
And I have brought that up. I'm sitting on the governor's subcommittee for awareness. And we are giving some recommendations, and one of them is about billboards to slow them down a bit, and also posting the hotline and the text line all over. Every single restroom should have them, whether it's a school, a church, airport already has it, just everywhere, casinos.
It's about the money, right?
Oh,
Essentially.
totally about money,
Right.
yeah.
Okay. So, what happens to this money? Where does it go? How does it get laundered? Are you into that end of it, or do you know anything about that particular?
Well, it's a cash transactions.
Mm-hmm.
So all these traffickers, I prefer to call them traffickers than pimps,
Yep.
they get in cash. There's no taxes paid, there's no
Right.
control, there's nothing. They're making normally averaging about 200,000 a year per girl. That's an average. Normally they make more.
And here in Las Vegas, because we have 40 million tourists a year that come here,
Yeah.
completely oblivious because they're here to have a good time.
They're here to have a good time. They think prostitution is legal in Clark County. They don't know. They know prostitution is legal somewhere in Nevada, and they
Right.
assume it's Las Vegas. So that's another thing that has to be posted at the airports, that it's not legal.
Right, okay. You said you would mention to me earlier off air that there are some awareness programs you're bringing into the school.
Bringing into the school, I met with the superintendent a few weeks ago, and he fully agrees we need to do something. In 2014, the faith-based community actually did bring a documentary that was approved by the schools, Trafficked No More. You can find it on YouTube, and brochures.
Okay.
But it stopped there. They did a great job, they got it in there, and then if no one follows up and continue the training or talking about it, nothing will happen. So we're bringing it back, and we are a group of us are going to go out and regularly go into the schools, talk to the students, talk to the counselors, talk to the teachers, informing them in a very nice way, not a threatening way at all.
Right, and this program is one of the many that should be sponsoring or at least bringing awareness to the public about an issue like this, which affects everybody in the city, obviously, because
Absolutely.
When it happens under your nose and you're not doing anything about it, it brings down both the quality of life, obviously, and you are supporting something that obviously shouldn't be supported
Yeah,
at all. With
exactly.
Any way. What do you suggest for adults out there interested in the problem? Obviously, this is a transient city. People come and go a lot, but there is a base population here that has been here a long time. Most of the people who watch our show are broadcast recipients, so they are at their home. They're probably older residents. What do people do about it? How can they help?
I tell people, look around what's going on around you. Look in your neighborhood. If you see a house, there's a lot of people coming and going, not staying too long, something is wrong. And you just pick up the phone and call the police. You call 311 or 911 if it's real urgent, and they will investigate. Their slogan now is, see something, say something. You can see that on a lot of vehicles out there, county vehicles.
And this is what it's referring to?
Yes. See something, say something, report it. You don't have to give your name either, even. You can just call in and say, listen, something is not right, and give the address. The police will be there. They will
Okay.
investigate.
In each department of the city, in the police department, do they have a squad, a unit,
Yeah.
a particular group
Yes.
of people that is in charge of this?
Yes.
So they both have the awareness and the wherewithal, the finances
Oh, yeah.
to be able to
Yeah.
both track it down. And what happens to the people who get caught? The victims, obviously, the people who are being
Well,
trafficked?
they are treated as victims these days. A few years back they changed that, so they are treated as victims. The problem is the ones under 18. There is no safe house here. There is a couple of safe houses that are going to come up further out. They should be further out, so you can't find them, but not quite there yet. I think there is one in Ely that's almost up and running, and the other one is not quite up and running completely yet. Those will be a big help because they have to put them in detention, juvenile detention for safety.
Shouldn't be, right.
No, but it's still, to the poor girl and boy, it's still a prison.
Where do people get in touch with you if they want to donate or get involved?
My website, awarenessisprevention.com.
Okay, very well. Lena, thank you very much for being
Thank
on the
you.
show. Once again, bringing great awareness to this terrible problem. Thank you
Thank
very
you so much for having me.
And thanks again.
Thanks.
And I'm Jeff Barton, and I'm your host for the Las Vegas Real Estate Show, and we'll be right back.